Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Srini here, and today we are going to talk about a new topic, that is how to prepare for a Selenium automation engineer interview. Now, I had prepared another video earlier to this one on how to prepare the different areas for a automation lead. Now, this is going to be a different perspective because this is for those engineers who are having experience of less than, I would say, 10 years, or I would say less than 8 years, because nowadays 8+ is considered to be like an automation lead. So it's in between, like you've got 4 to 8 years experience, then in terms of automation, then this will be definitely applicable to you, or 3 to 4 years, 3 to 8 years, I would say, because 0 to 2 is generally considered as a junior automation engineer or just an automation engineer. But for a senior automation engineer, how to prepare and what are the different areas we have, let's go into focus on that. So the first thing you need to know is any programming language thoroughly. Now, again, this is as per your skill set and as per your JD, which you're going to prepare to, give interview for. It could be Java, Python, or any language, etc. Just prepare one language thoroughly. Don't have a mindset that, okay, I'm going to master multiple languages. Believe me, it is little difficult. It requires a lot of time investment. It will also require a lot of practice. You need to remember all of those parallelly. The reason being, Java and Python, or in general other languages like C sharp or other languages, right, which we have, they are having different syntax. They are having different ways of implementation of a concept. They may be OOPS programming language, but the way they implement it could be totally different. So it is going to make you confused. So I would say master any one language and just go along with that. Don't fall into a trap of thinking that if I know multiple, then I'll have a good chance of clearing the interview. That is the first prerequisite feature. I'm just going to talk about the prerequisites first, a little bit different how I want to prepare here, because I want you all to take this in a serious note as to how you're going to go about the interview process. Second thing is you need to know one CI/CD tool thoroughly. Okay. So that is for sure we have like Jenkins. So I'm going to list down that here, Jenkins. Okay. So Jenkins is for sure important tool to know. Third is you need to know a Git versioning, code versioning tool. So I'm going to go for Git. So these are important things. If you are knowing, then it makes your life so easier when you are preparing for an interview, Git or GitHub, any of the two, but at least Git concepts which are there, you need to know. And GitHub as a tool you can have. Okay, you can use it for your code versioning purposes. You need to know one IDE tool well. So it could be Eclipse, it could be IntelliJ IDEA, and automation tool as well. You need to know one of the tools, like I am going to talk about, let's say, for example, Selenium. You need to know Cypress, or you maybe need to know Playwright, or you have Python with PyTest. So these are the four combinations or four tools which are very popular these days, and even Catalan Studio for that matter. So this is the different combinations of whatever languages wise I can think of right now, which are very popular right now in the market. Now, another thing is you need to know QA processes. Now, QA processes means at least basics you need to know, all basic concepts, all concepts you need to know for manual test processes as a Selenium, as a senior automation engineer. Now, what else? You have to practice a lot of programs for your language. Okay. You need to practice a lot of programs for a language to develop confidence, right? So that in interview, whenever they give you any kind of question, you will be able to prepare and you'll be able to solve it. And the other part is automation frameworks, creation from scratch. Okay. So these are the different prerequisites which you need to know when you're preparing for a Selenium automation interview as a senior automation engineer. Now, what areas to focus on individually? Now, I've listed down on a high level. What are the areas we need to prepare on them individually? Let's go through that. So Java, I've already talked about in my previous interview, previous particular video on automation lead, but again, I'll list down here. So we have OOPS concepts, we have exception handling, we have collections in Java, we have Java 1.8. At least this much you need to know. And JDBC, how do you basically connect to Java database using JDBC syntax? Now, this is about Java. Now let's come to automation tool. I'm talking about a UI automation tool here. Let's say, for example, we have Selenium. So in Selenium, you need to know all basic concepts, like starting from locators and then like how do you handle Windows, right? How do you handle Windows? How do you handle frames? How do you handle alerts? Then what is auto IT, where it is getting used, and how it is getting used. Can you give an example? Where did you use it? So that you need to know. Then what else is required here? You need to know about your actions class, robot class, etc. There are so many concepts which are there in Selenium which you need to know in and out. Then there is JavaScript executor. Where will you use JavaScript executor? Right? And in locators also, there are so many things which are there. I'm just going to talk about including everything, including XPath access. Everything you need to know in and out, how to create a locator from scratch, right? So this is done, and what else is required? All components of a framework. So there are so many components of a framework, which I can just list down here. Log4j. How do you do logging using Log4j? Then reports like extend reports, allure reports, right? You need to know that. Then you would need to know. So this is about the reporting mechanism I have mentioned down currently, and Log4j for logging. Then what else we need? We need to also know about listeners. Listeners actually. So in TestNG, we have a concept of listener. Yeah. So we also have concepts of TestNG, page object model, or page factory. One of them you can use, right? And as a build tool, definitely you need to know Maven build tool. That is a must. You have to create all your projects from Maven. Using Maven, you need to create them. So that is a must. You need to know about CI/CD. So that I've already mentioned above. So in Jenkins, you need to know about job scheduling. How will you do? Like cron pattern, which you are following in CI/CD, Jenkins job configuration. Then what is build trigger? Means if I, let's say, push some code into my project, then my smoke testing or my functionality testing test cases should get automatically triggered. What are build triggers? And post build triggers means after your project is built and your execution is over, what you need to do? You need to generate a report. So what kind of report do you want? Do you want a TestNG report? Do you want a Cucumber report, etc.? So depending upon your requirement of your customer, you have to mention that. And also you need to know about Groovy, because they will ask you in the interview about Groovy script. How can you configure and how can you make the pom.xml get executed at runtime when you are running it via Jenkins? And you need to also know about Jenkins pipeline, how to create a pipeline, what are the different stages, and can you explain for your project? Then code versioning tool, we are going to use Git, and you can also use GitHub for your local desktop as a tool. So we have covered Java or one language, we've covered a UI automation tool, we've covered Maven, CI/CD. Then what important thing is we need to also know about API automation tool. These two are a must actually. UI and API go hand in hand. You can't escape from API. If you know UI, you have to know API automation as well. This is in case you're using Java. Some people also go for HTTP client, but then on top of HTTP client, wrapper is what rest assured we are having. So rest assured is more advanced. And for with Python, we have something called request package. And likewise for Cypress, we use just API. So there are a lot of different things we are having. So these all you need to know. And even nowadays, Karate API is also getting popular. So any of these you may need to know for sure based on your job description. So these are the areas which we have, which we need to know thoroughly and prepare. And I have not mentioned one more thing, that is manual test processes. That is also a must. You need to know about everything, be it on a high level about test plan, test strategy. On a high level, you may not need to prepare it because normally a test lead or a automation manager prepares it. Then what all metrics do you normally prepare when you're sending a daily execution report to your lead? Metrics which basically like test pass percentage, fail percentage, then defect rejection ratio, number of accepted defects, then the defect leakage, or etc. etc. A lot of different metrics which you need to prepare. You need to know on that. What is requirement traceability metrics? You need to know. Then SDLC phases you need to know. You have to definitely know about, I'm going to talk about as a different point here, agile methodology. Basically, what are the ceremonies which are involved here, right? How does the estimation happen of a story? Then who are the key people involved here, etc. So these all areas you need to definitely prepare when you're preparing for a senior automation engineer role. And you have to also practice a lot of programs. So I have mentioned Java here. You have to practice a lot of Java programs. And here I have not mentioned on one more thing. I'm going to put here automation framework development from scratch. You have to tell them you have sufficient experience and they will definitely ask you which all. So you have to tell whichever one you know thoroughly. So if you are knowing multiple ones, definitely tell them, but you should be confident enough to explain as well as draw a kind of a diagram in case required to explain the same. So these all are the different popular frameworks. See, TestNG is also a part of the framework, but I would say it's like a component. I would always say it's a component. It's not completely like a framework. Framework are something like data-driven. Hybrid means combination of one or more framework. Keyword-driven and Cucumber BDD. These are the popular four frameworks which we have in Selenium automation tool. There may be some different tools as well. I may not be aware, but which may be used in different tools. But these are the four popular ones which we are having in the market today. So I'm going to mention all the key areas and make them in bold. So UI automation tool, then one programming language. You need to know about automation framework development from scratch. You need to know about Maven. These are all must. You can't skip any of them. Then you need to know about code versioning tool. This is what actually gets used in an industry practice. API automation tool, then the manual test processes, and then the agile methodology. This much, if you are able to prepare well thoroughly, I am guaranteeing you that you should be able to crack the interview. So that's all about it from my side for this particular video. If you want me to prepare any detailed video on any of these topics, feel free to put a comment and I'll happy to prepare on the same. Thank you so much.